All right, folks. This one's a little bit weird. We're going to jump right into it here. So, yeah. That last game ran over. The admins got a little bit eager, and they started it without the English broadcaster. So we are actually casting off Dota TV. Apologies. I know it's going to be delayed. I know all of you bettors are going to be upset that you don't quite have real-time stats. Yep, sorry about that, but what are you going to do? They offered to remake, and I said no. We are not going to inconvenience the teams for the folly of an admin. I made an executive call because, you know what? It's no biggie. We can cast off Dota TV. Sorry for all those in-game that were looking for English commentary. Well, that sucks. Okay, so I paused for a second here. Next Gen versus Nas Nedaganyat. Wasn't Dat DeBong on NND last time that we did this? Is this not right? Something looks different about all of this, but okay, we're just going to roll with it. Beastmaster Witch Doctor, the opening here for NND. It was a first pick Alchemist for Next Gen. They had the first pick in this game. Interesting the way they did that. Instead of opening with the Lion, Alk definitely reveals a bit more of your strat. You know the enemy is going to be going greedy. So as soon as you see an Alchemist, NND should be thinking to themselves, okay, what's good against Alk? Maybe we should get some good roaming supports, supports that can rotate about, put some pressure on the Alk, maybe even invade the jungle. That's a big one as well. We've seen how important those early stacks are against how important those early stacks are for an Alchemist. We saw in the first game today, this is game 3, the Wisp lineup intercepting the Alchemist really effectively, killing his creeps, killing him in the process, and just disrupting his farm. That's really what you need to do early on. So, like game 2, that was just free farming Alk. That was like, all right, Alk, don't worry. You can get the bounty runes. We'll let you play in the jungle. We're not worried. We've got a Naga Siren. Woohoo! Obviously, that is a scary strategy. I'm almost never in favor of just going blow for blow farm with the Alchemist. Like, oh, don't worry. Our safe lane's free farming, and so is their Alchemist. It's going to work out in the mid game. It can. And there are scenarios where, like, trading that even farm can be all right. I mean, a Beastmaster is a great example. NND could go position 4 or really position 3 Beastmaster. It doesn't really matter. More so the Iron Talon dedicated jungler Beastmaster. It depends if they feel like they need to sack the off lane or put him on more of a 4 role, but that guy can farm super fast, like faster than an Alchemist in the early levels. So that first 10 minutes, you have this window where it's kind of okay to let the Alchemist free farm because he'll get his armlet, he'll maybe be halfway to Radiance, maybe get that relic, but Beastmaster will come online level 6, level 7, around that 6 or 7 minute mark, and he will come out of the gate swinging. He'll be ready to knock down towers, put pressure on, and he will be able to gank that Alchemist and start to take control of the game. And that's around the same time when heroes like Witch Doctor and when Abaddon will start to be able to rotate, put a lot of pressure on. Even just a value point in Curse of Avernus can help set up those early kills very, very easily. So a good Abaddon pick here. Nice to have against the Lion. Can potentially cleanse some hexes.
5 seconds
Helps
remaining.
beef you up. A very manly hero that can kind of charge in on the Alk and be aggressive in those mid-game team fights. Next Gen will opt to pick up the Ancient Apparition. Probably a deny pick for themselves. So that NND can't pick the AA. A little bit of flexibility here. It could be a position 4 Abaddon with a Beastmaster in the off lane. Could be a Beastmaster in the jungle with an off lane Abaddon. Could just be the position 3 jungling Beastmaster with a 4 Abaddon rotating about. A lot of flexibility for this Radiant team, NND, to see how they want to set up these lanes. But they're going to need their mid as well as their carry here. Lifestealer, I think, could have been a good pick. Of course, it was banned out by NND themselves. Maybe something like a Slark could work.
Sven stands ready.
Dire team pick.
Okay, they take Sven. I want to look at the bets here. What are the odds? Wow, this is a coin flip matchup. 52% on Next Gen and 48% on NND. Oh, yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like. I like to see that. All right, so Sven for NND. It's another good lockdown. They've got great AoE stun now. You've got the Storm Hammer. You've got that Coconut bouncing around. You've got Primal Roar, the BKB piercing stun that they can initiate with. A lot of good gank, and a team that really can come online early. Now, of course, Sven is like an insurance blanket. I don't think insurance blanket is the phrase. I think it's a security blanket. Insurance card, security blanket. That's the proper noun there. Either way, he's quite good in the late game. But now with the addition of some of these new items, Sven can actually be ridiculous in the early levels. If you go for like a Power Tread, Drum, Blink, Echo Saber build, it's ridiculous at 20 minutes. Like, you have a couple options. You could just go, all right, I'm going to go Great Cleave, I'm just going to farm, and then 30 minutes in, I'll go BKB, Blink, Crit, and just destroy their entire team. But if you go for those early items that give you, like, well, he probably won't go Armlet this game against an AA. This is a really good AA game, actually. I'm just noticing against the Witch Doctor, Abaddon, and potentially against Sven if he had wanted to go for the Armlet. Either way, if he goes to these early combative items, gives you a lot of stats. He's already really beefy because of Warcry. Great hero to have against the Alchemist. Pretty much just mitigates the acid spray straight up. And a great hero for those early mid-game team fights. Like 15 minutes, there's absolutely no reason why Sven can't be part of a 5-man.
5 seconds remaining.
And even though AA is really good against that 5-man, kind of like I'm talking about, there are ways to deal with the Ice Blast, and you need the follow-up damage with the Ice Blast for it to be super effective. But if they survive through it, Witch Doctor will pretty easily be able to heal them up. You've got Mist Coils, you've got Aphotic Shields to prevent those shatters. They still have a team that can handle the Ice Blast once it comes online. Nature's Prophet from Next Gen, kind of an interesting choice. It looks like their idea is going to be to split up the map while NND are 5-manning. Good split push potential here with NP as well as Alchemist. They can just push side lanes while they're 5-manning around. It has potential to work. I think it's a little bit risky. Not the build that I would have chose to go for in this scenario, but, you know, it's each his own. What you going to do? Beast, Brewmaster, and Viper. Final bans. We have not seen much Viper. Although it would fit in really well with this NND draft. It's great mech carrier. Could pick up a mech at like 10, 11 minutes. Come online right around the same time these heroes do. Be very beefy. Add a lot of sustainability to the lineup. Yeah, I like that Viper ban. That's a pretty good read. Brewmaster is really an interesting ban here. Maybe a respect ban. Don't know these players too well on the side of Next Gen. They could have a good Brew player. Not the most popular of heroes right now. We've seen him played a little bit here and there, but not really that scary, I would say. I think they could handle the Brew. I guess he's just really good at delaying the game when their lineup wants to come online. You know, like that 10 to 30 minute window is where the Brewmaster ult is really effective and hard to push into. It does start to fall off a little bit after that. That's where he needs to transition into more kind of utility items, maybe get a BKB. But, yeah, it's pretty clear that NND definitely want to hit that early mid-game 5-man.
10 seconds remaining.
I think Invoker is going to be their final pick, actually. No! Timbersaw. Timbersaw. Okay. I'm really surprised to see the Timbersaw pick up. I thought Invoker would be perfect here. You just go Exort Invoker. You've got setup with the Sven as well as the Beastmaster for Sunstrikes across the map. You can go for a Midas. You can potentially greed your way into the mid-game. You get another Necro book. The Forge Spirit synergizes well with the Inner Beast. You have a lot of summons with big right-click. Seems like a pretty obvious pick to me, but they go a complete 180 the other way. Timbersaw, notoriously good against strength heroes. The Whirling Death gets rid of that primary stat. So it is good against Alk, no doubt. Does help lower that threshold to find kills. Also curious how they're going to set up these lanes. Nefari is their mid player, I believe. So I think it's a Timbersaw mid against the Alchemist. I am not so sure about the Spectre, though. I'm looking at this draft, and I'm thinking NND win this game in 25 minutes, or they lose it in 45. I think those are kind of the primary win conditions here. NG are in super greed mode here. Look at their lineup. Every single hero needs farm. Lion, he wants to get a Blink Dagger. He's trying to find stray last hits. Ancient Apparition, well, he really just wants XP, wants to hit level 6. I think you can basically just cross off him getting an Aghanim Scepter this game. It's just not happening. So he's going to be the hardcore sacrificial 5. Spectre and Alk, I mean, duh. Yeah, they definitely need some big farm. And Nature's Prophet, not really a sacrificial offlaner either. Good because you can put on a lot of global pressure, but one who is often tempted to go back for a Midas, a Maelstrom, these kind of farming tools that let him kind of power farm through the mid-game and find opportunities to gank as they present themselves. Ridiculously greedy lineup against what NND has drafted here because they don't really have that greedy of a lineup, and they have pretty good pushing. I think Beastmaster is just incredible in that scenario. He's got himself Inner Beast, so he can synergize well with the team. They've got great sustain with Witch Doctor Abaddon. They've got great armor with Warcry. So, I mean, this team is just going to be hard to kill. They've got a lot of AoE, and Timbersaw, he's going to do a lot of damage this game. Uh-oh, we're going to hold this thought, though, as there's a First Blood initiation potentially onto the Nature's Prophet. Yoku Ben Stavanis, my man Ben S., he's going to be backing it up. What is the Ben Stavanis joke? I still don't get it. Why are they all named Stavanis? Nefari goes in. He goes in hard. Oh, man. Sven taking some big damage. This is one clusterfuck on the rune. Who's going to win it? It's Nefari that gets the first blood. Oh, no. Dat Bong. It's not going to work out. They're going to get 3. It's a 1 for 3. A double kill for Nefari. NND coming out huge at this bottom rune skirmish. Who even got the runes? One goes to the Spectre. One goes to the Timbersaw. A great early fight for NND. And the first blood went to Nefari. He's got to be feeling pretty good. Interesting that the Alk's gone for a Blightstone early here. I guess Timbersaw is pretty well suited to go up against the Alk. You've got the reactive armor, so you'll just start to naturally regen up, get some extra armor against the acid spray. It's kind of an interesting counter that you don't really see too often. It will be a 2-on-1 for now. Ancient Apparition going to hang around in the mid lane, babysit this Alk. Off lane Abaddon, going to be played by Eden here against the safe lane Spectre. That means it's a safe lane try, at least for now, around the Sven in the bottom lane. So Witch Doctor just going to be pulling here, and, well, it's not even really a try. It's just a straight jungling for Boo Boo. Going to be focused hard on the jungling. Look how much damage Eden can put in, though. This is just a level 2 Abaddon, Curse of Avernus, great level 1 spell. That 8% slow is actually redonkulous. Putting so much pressure onto this Spectre. This is a 1v3 lane, and this Abaddon's acting like it ain't no thing, just walking around. They're actually going to do some decent damage here. As I say that, they're going to draw a first blood. If only they had one more charge of Chilling Touch. Lion trying to man up for the kill. The extra armor under the tower going to help him out. And Eden going to be forced to run back to the well. That's a little unfortunate. Him and Nature's Prophet, both kind of in Strug City here. Dat Bong hanging out. Has leached his way up to level 2. Boots first, but kind of a slow start. Not really finding too much in the way of last hits. Rocky start here for NG. Unfortunate for the Alchemist that he couldn't get the rune. You don't see those kind of level 1 skirmishes very often, but I think Alchemist is one hero where it's kind of worth it. So we've seen Alchemist all 3 games today for our best of ones. We've talked a lot about bounty runes, and I like the metric that we put down in game number 2. If Alchemist can get 3 of the first 4 runes, you know he's having a good time. It makes such a big difference in terms of his ability to transition that into functional items. Like, Alk is all about that foundation. The faster you get the armlet means the faster you can farm the Radiance, and the faster you get the Radiance means the faster you can get those other core items. It's all about snowball momentum. Dat Bong down bottom, definitely going to fall. Great setup from Sven. A lot of kill potential in this lane. Not too surprising to see him take a dip early on. But so far in this game, we are almost 3 minutes in. 2 bounty runes have come out, and 0 of them have gone to the Alchemist. Timbersaw picked up the one down bottom. So you look at the last hits here in the mid lane. Timbersaw 9-0 versus the 9-2 Alk. Yeah, okay, even farm, but that's not where the Alk wants to be. Nefari just zoning him out. This is really a great counter pick here. And Timbersaw is one of these heroes that we've seen very momentum-based himself. If he gets a couple kills, cough, cough, first blood, 2-0-1 already. Has a good time in the lane, you know, maybe gets a fast Bloodstone, some big tanky sustainable item like that. He can cruise around the map, take over the game, and you're like, who's this goblin inside of a mechanical tree cutter, man? This guy's crazy. And NG really don't have a tanky lineup. Alk will be tanky eventually, but not for the first 20 minutes. Spectre, same deal. And Timbersaw is going to be able to just charge in, no holds barred. I'm feeling quite nervous for NG. This is a really rocky start for a really, really greedy lineup. I think that's the biggest thing. 4-1, 1,200 net worth lead at 3 minutes. Yeah, that happens. Usually it's not the end of the world, but just look at their lineup. If this continues for the next 3 to 5 minutes and they just continue to fall further and further behind, this game will be brutal for them. I mean, their ability to recover with a Spectre, with an Alk, with a Nature's Prophet, if they start losing map control, they're just not going to have enough places to farm. You're going to have all these kind of wet noodle, semi-underfarmed, not really farmed cores that are just going to get run over by the farmed cores of NND because this Beastmaster... So think about it this way. Right now, the solo jungling Beastmaster is higher net worth than all 3 of the cores on NG individually. So you've got a position 4 who's farming better than the position 1 of the opposition. And then, of course, the other cores are doing quite well. You've got Sven at number 1. You've got this Avernus doing pretty well up top. And you got this badass Timbersaw in the mid lane just dominating on the Alchemist. I mean, it's a 2-on-1 lane. He had the AA with him earlier on. Now the Lion rotates in, and he's still besting him in terms of raw CS and overall farm. 4 minutes going to come out here. We'll see if Nefari can fish his wish, looking for that bounty rune, and he gets it. This Alk, 0 for 3. Oh, man. I would almost feel bad for him, but it's an Alchemist, and I have no sympathy for Alk pickers. So, sorry, bro. This is just a day in the life of bad RNG. You better start praying to RNGesus, Holmes, because your tournament life depends on it. This is lower bracket, I think. Actually, let me double-check the brackets. I'm 90% sure this is elimination. Oh, yeah, baby. It sure is. My God. I can't believe they picked such a greedy draft in a best-of-1 elimination. Look at his items. He doesn't even have boots. All right. Quiet early game. Most of the kills around that first blood skirmish. And I think this is totally expected for NND. I mean, if the Alk was free farming and getting bounty runes and number 1 on net worth, I think NND would still be in great shape. Like, I've seen this jungling passive Beastmaster, and like the momentum is just ridiculous once he comes online. Like, he's already level 6. We're 5 minutes in, and he's level 6. He's on par with the mid laners. Gonna see a dive on the line. This should be a freebie for Nefari. Just the help of the boar, that added slow. Beastmaster. I mean, what a fucking hero. He's solo jungling as fast as the mid laners are farming, walks back to the well and says, all right, I'm going to go heal up, but don't worry, I got a boar coming in. You think we can do something to Nefari? He's like, yeah, sure, just throw that poison on the lion. I got you. Sets up a kill for his mid laner at the well and gives the Timbersaw the solo experience. It's ridiculous what this hero can do. This is why you see teams first pick Beastmaster anytime it's available. Because, hey, if this doesn't work out, if they invade your jungle, just put him in the off lane. There you go. He's just a good old classic off laner. Now he's going to steal some farm in the jungle. He's going to invade and just try to take some of these stacks away from the Alchemist, who, by the way, is starting to recover. I mean, it's just that easy. You clear out a couple stacks in the jungle, get that Grievel's Greed going, and he's now back to number 1 on net worth. Still relatively underfarmed for where an Alk needs to be. And Yoku Stevanis, this is going to be an easy kill for him. He's going to find this Alk at half health. His ult is not up. Oh, my God. Talk about a freebie. That's about as good as it gets. They will lose their bad. Nature's Prophet rotates up, but I think NND are okay to go 1 for 1 like that if they're getting a kill on the Alchemist. Now Dat Dabong going to get blown up by Nefari. This Spectre going to be in a lot of trouble as well. Low on mana. Spectre, dagger about to expire. There's the Chakram, and say goodnight to the ghoulish girl. Meanwhile, down bottom, hey, that's a pretty big camp. All right, Ben Stevanis. Who is Ben Stevanis? I swear to God, somebody, we're paused. Let's see here. It's a huge stack here for the... I mean, this is just incredible. This is like NND is winning every lane. They're shutting down the Alk, and their Sven is free farming. All right, we're resumed. So that's a Mask of Madness for Sven.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's feeling pretty good. Mask of Madness Sven. You don't really see it that often. It's an incredible item on the Rogue Knight if you're this far ahead. He's even gone for the Ricing build, 141, maxed out Great Cleave. Yeah, the Mask of Madness is actually insane. The drawback is that you take damage when you use it. But if you're this far ahead and you can just run in on people, it ups your damage output so much. It's also a really good farming tool. It gives you movement speed to run from camp to camp, which of course farms your or increases your farm efficiency, and it allows you to kill creeps very quickly as well. So it's not just for fighting, but it's also a really good farming tool. You know, you pick up a Midas, it's kind of a passive farming tool. The Mask of Madness is more of a farming tool that gives you some aggressive potential. Witch Doctor juking and jiving in the tree line here. He could maybe live through this. He's doing a really good job juking through the trees. He will eventually fall, but he sets up for Nefari to come down, makes it a 1-for-1, and because he dies first, Nefari actually gets solo experience for that kill, and I think it's actually almost better for NND. Spectre has to split the XP and the gold, and yeah, this Timbersaw is getting scary. 6-0-1. Pretty good start in the first 8 minutes. We'll see Lion get killed mid. Looks like another rotation from the Beastmaster. He's having a pretty good time also. Level 1 Necro Book right around Zakona. Maybe a Blink Dagger. First item on Nefari could be warranted here. A Timbersaw. Like, dude, this was a 50-50 matchup on Dota 2 Lounge. There are going to be some sad betters out there in the very near future. Oh, boy. Oh, good. Spectre just trying to get anything she can right now in terms of value items. Going to go Phase Boots into Urn. Nothing too weird about that build. Honestly, fairly standard stuff.
Top tower is under attack.
But not looking like she'll be at that fast radiance timing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Smoke
attack.
rotation through the Dire jungle. No point in Timber Chain. That is surprising.
Top tower is under attack.
Oh, look how much pressure. They just know the Alk is right here. Pure damage on the trees. Death Ward. It's an easy kill on the Alchemist. And all the while in the mid, hey, look, it's Yoku Stavanis. He goes right in on the AA, gets a free kill. And Dat Bong tries to come in, actually gets pushed back pretty hard.
Warriors of the wood.
Dire's middle tower is under
Necro Book level 1. This Beastmaster, dude, he's actually taken over. Their position 4 is on par with their Alchemist. Just let that sink in. Just digest what that actually means.
It's your wounds.
Oh, wow. Solo kill from the Lion down bottom. That's actually pretty huge. But up top, we're going to see the Curse of Avernus coming out again. He's got Borrowed Time online. No point in the miscoil. A little bit surprising. No deny potential. Now the Haunt from Spectre. They're trying to dive onto Magical. If Eden can get in range for this, it could pop and get the kill. But can't quite get there. Now the Timber Chain. I hear it from Nefari. Well, he cleans it up. Monster kill now for the Timbersaw. He's going to go in hard onto the Spectre. Whirling Death. If this connects, pure damage. Going to be big. Just drop it. Oh, it actually misses the Spec. That's unfortunate. But Chakram's there. Eden comes flying on in, and that'll be another easy dive on the Ghoulish Lady. 14-4 NG in a world of hurt. That kill on the Sven down bottom is the only pick-me-up they've had in a while, and it is a minor pick-me-up. He's just going to go right into that Echo Saber like we talked about. Sven going for items that give him a great boost in the mid-game at the potential cost of late game, but honestly, I think it's the play here. I think NND have the exact right strat in mind to hit this mid-game timing and hit it hard. They are really starting to come online, though. It's not going to be that Blink Dagger, just the classic Bloodstone on Nefari, and not too far away. Has the Soul Ring back home, has the Soul Booster, has to break up the Arcane Boots to make it, but still has the piece completed. Now he's just a recipe away. It's a pretty happy Timbersaw, honestly, looking to be a great Bloodstone timing. A fabulous snowball item from the ages. You know, the more charges you can get up on it, the better. The earlier you can get it, usually the easier it is to snowball. And even more so now. It's an item that was buffed not that long ago, starting with 12 charges, up from 8. Now, Nefari should be feeling pretty good about his current space in this game. First Ice Blast flying through, going to be off the mark in terms of heroes. Follow-up stun from Lion, but Yoku Stavanis is still pretty healthy. They might just turn this around. He's got a Primal Roar in 2. He pops the Necro Book. Lion dies first. They might be able to go in on more. He's looking for the Primal Roar. Chakram connects onto Magical. Hoping to get it on the Alchemist there, I think. Primal Roar, not quite going to be in position for it. There it is. Goes in onto the Alch, and now he's going to stun himself. What a bad time to channel the Concoction. Chakram bringing him down low, and it sets up a double for Nefari. Oh, that was not the play, Mr. Alchemist. My poor comrade.
Dire's middle tower is
Channels
under
the
attack.
stun in vision of the primal roar. That's huge. Alchemist dies once more, and God, this game it just feels like it's over
Dire's
already.
structures are
16-4,
fortified.
NND nearly a 10k gold lead, 7,500 net worth. Another Ice Blast flying on through. Will connect on Yoku Stavanis. Haunt, he's going to try to TPO him. It's not happening. He will shatter. Nefari could suffer a similar fate. TP home, and he lives. Well, recovery kill for NG. They do get the Beastmaster. Not over yet, showing that they've got a sign of life. I guess not an insurmountable lead. NND could still get a little hyper-aggressive, feed some kills to the Alk. Gonna see the Dragonlance Alk build again. Oof. Why didn't he go Armlet? Interesting. All right, so we saw this in game number 1. The Dragonlance is particularly good on Alchemist when he's up against an Ancient Apparition. It's a great value item. Nobody denies that. 15 strength, 15 agi. We've seen a lot of players do it. When you're on a Meepo, go double Dragonlance because it just gives you a great boost of stats for such an easy build-up. And it's disassemblable, so you can turn it into a partial Ags. In the case of an Alchemist, you could turn it into like an S and Y, right? Just have that leftover little elven band there. I get it. I see what they're going for. Against an Ancient Apparition, when you don't want to go for Armlet, for obvious reasons. You think to yourself, well, I can't rush Radiance. What am I going to get instead? A lot of people would say, well, Drum. That's a great item that gives you some stats. Lets you fight in the early game. Not too costly. Not going to slow down your Radiance too much. The Dragonlance is in a very similar vein. I think it just gives Alk slightly more relevant stats. He's happy to just pick up that strength, beef up a little bit. The one thing that I wonder is, in this kind of a scenario, why not just pick up the Vitality booster? I mean, I guess the Dragonlance does give him a little more damage, so that's nice. We'll see how it works out here. In game 1, the Alchemist went 40 minutes without even disassembling it, so it really was just for the raw stats. We're going to see him initiated on again here. Primal Roar while he's channeling the Concoction. Does get off the stun, but it just doesn't matter. So much damage locks him down. That'll be 13 Bloodstone charges now up on the Timbersaw. They just finished off the Tier 1. They get the Tier 2 down bottom. This snowball is rolling for NND. There's Sven still just split farming. He's got his Echo Saber, probably looking for a Blink Dagger, but they're going to go high ground off this. Alk does have a buyback. Definitely doesn't want to use it at the 14-minute mark, but hey, this is what happens when you've got a level 2 Necro Book at the 13-minute mark. This is how fast this Tier 3 tower dies. NG have a Glyph. They'll be forced to use it, but they have such an ass high ground lineup at 15 minutes. AA has an ult, but it just kind of tickles at this point. Everyone's topped off. It is going to come in, connects on 3 heroes, follow-up finger from the Lion, but it's a bloody Abaddon. He's got borrowed time. He may still fall. You might be able to force a shatter, but he's going to survive through a lot of it. Witch Doctor does end up going down. Eden actually does live through it. Now the ult comes through. I don't know why the Sven's not here. He's literally just split farming right now. I think they could definitely benefit from the Sven's damage and maybe just have made that a convincing fight. But hey, that's okay. They only lose a Witch Doctor. They don't force the buyback from the Alchemist. Honestly, I think NND are just surprised to get a Tier 3 tower kill there. To me, that was like, we're in a good position. We have Creepolibrium. Let's just see what happens when we force the issue. Maybe we can get a couple ultimates used. Maybe we can force a Glyph. But let's not overcommit. Let's just do a little chip damage and see what happens. And NG were pretty slow to react. And ND are able to get a Tier 3 at 15 minutes for just their Witch Doctor. It's a pretty worthy trade, especially if you factor in the fact that Sven is literally just free farming. That entire time, he's now become #1 on net worth while Alchemist was sitting in the grave. And he's a pretty happy Sven at this point. He's got a Blink Dagger, Mask of Madness, Echo Saber, so he's doing pretty big damage, pretty good utility overall. Drum now up on Avernus here, good old Abaddon. He's also got the Vlads. Really like the way NND itemized here. The early Vlads, the early Echo Saber, Necronomicon, and then just the big beefy Timbersaw. They've got a little bit of everything. They've got great items to support the frontliners. They've got a lot of damage output, especially with that Inner Beast, and pretty good survivability, honestly. Beastmaster with 1,100 gold, halfway to his Blink Dagger. They've already got 1 on this Sven, and of course the Timber Chain on Timbersaw. Great mobility initiation tools. Well, they're going to have 1 more pretty soon, and here we go. Smoke from NND in the mid lane. This time, Sven will join them. The only person not with him here is the Timbersaw. He does have a TP scroll. I'm curious where they're going to go with this smoke. He's actually going to TP to the mid-tier 1.
Double damage.
Odd rotation from this Timbersaw, given his team is smoked up. Okay, here we go. Now it makes more sense. So they want to go into the Roche pit, and they're going to show the Timbersaw mid to make it a little bit less suspicious. NNG, they might be privy to it, though. Hawk flying overhead. They are going to send some Treants in. Roche falling very quickly. Looks like it will go down uncontested to the Radiant.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
NND maybe thinking about a rotation, but they opt not to go for it. I just spilled coffee all over my shirt. Great. Nefari going in hot onto the Alchemist. Yoku with the follow-up Mask of Madness, double damage rune, and the ultimate. My God. That Alchemist didn't stand a chance.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Folks, I think this game is pretty over.
Radiant's bottom
There's an
tower
Aegis
is
of the
under
Immortal for
attack.
NND, 12k net
Dire's
worth.
bottom barracks
Here we go, high ground. No glyph available for NG. This bottom lane of barracks is definitely going down. They've got 30 seconds without the Alk.
Dire's bottom barracks.
Level 3 Necro Book. That's a lane of barracks down. They'll just rotate straight towards the mid. Sven hitting like an absolute madman right now. He's just a Mack truck cruising down the highway with no brakes. Ice Blast. Connects on 4, but honestly, what difference does it make? What are you going to do?
Dire's
Haunt,
middle
tickle him?
barracks are under attack.
Spectre's got drums. Ancient Apparition picks up a hand of Midas. NG just drafted way too greedy. That's pretty much all this comes down to. Beastmaster will even finish off the ranged barracks with that ranged Necro Creep.
I'll take that.
Beastmaster now goes Mask of Madness. What? Oh, it looks like he sold it back. He bought an HOD, then sold that back. A little indecisive here. All right, rebuys the HOD.
Invisibility.
Oh, bottom lane, bottom lane. Come on, Mouse, you can do it. Dat da bong. TP's home. Nefari, no interrupt. He does have a Lotus Orb, though, so that's good. Talk about Cleanse and Lion Hex. Now they have 2 Purges with the Aphotic Shield and a Lotus. And quite a few things to reflect, most notably the Finger and the Concoction, the 2 big uns. Now a smoke from NG. It gets broken. Invisible Witch Doctor on the high ground. Ensnare. Uh-oh, Lion. You could be in some trouble. Cast going to come bouncing back his way. What unfortunate positioning.
Radiant's
No,
middle
that's bad
tower
news for the
is under
Lion.
attack.
And Timbersaw is just going to push down to the bottom lane. Push in these side lanes. There's only 1 lane remaining before Mega Creeps, and still over 2 minutes on the Aegis of the Immortal. Did we mention Sven's BKB? No, we didn't. He's got a 10-second BKB now.
Radiant's
So that's
courier
good.
has been killed.
25 seconds. They lost their courier. Maybe a sign of hope for NG. Here we go. Alchemist jumped on. BKB'd Sven. Clicks him down in the duration of a Stormhammer. No buyback. And, well, at least Alk buys his Radiance before the game ends. I think it's literally going to do 0 damage by the time they kill the throne.
Dire's top
But
barracks. The Radiant
he
now
managed
have Mega
to get a Radiance. This was a depressing game to watch for next-gen fans, I have to admit. Well played by NND, though. A very convincing win. Only 19 minutes of gameplay. 20-6, and they just executed. I think we really hit most of the points throughout the broadcast. The jungling Beastmaster getting away with complete murder. Look how fast those little skeletons auto-attack. They just straight out farmed him. Timbersaw proved to be a brilliant pick, shut down the Alchemist hard in lane, then they rotated on him in the jungle, had no recovery. Great heroes, great picks. All around brilliant execution from NND. This team has definitely turned some heads and made a few new fans, I think, across the ages. Well, that wraps up our broadcast today for Kappa Season 2. Thank you so much for joining us. We should have more coverage coming up tomorrow. I am Zyori from moonducktv. If you enjoyed the coverage, give me a follow on Twitter at ZyoriTV, as well as at moonducktv to stay up to date with all things happening in the studio. We're going to do a Zyori podcast over on twitch.tv/ZyoriTV. I'm going to host it on this channel, so if you're interested in the old Zyori podcast, it's kind of like this, except more freeform with me yelling about all sorts of nonsense. So, stick around, enjoy that. If not, have a good day. The Manila Major starts in about 12 hours, and we will have Canada Cup coming up tonight in about 8 hours' time, 9 hours' time, something like that. So that's it. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. We'll see you later for more C Kappa.